Good morning, everyone. This side Bhavisha Verma, Assistant Professor SD College from SD College Ambala Cant, and I'm going to take the topic that is higher education system in India. So, what is the syllabus of higher education system in India? The syllabus of higher education system in India includes institutions of higher learning and education in ancient India, evolution of higher learning and research in post-independence India, conventional and non-conventional learning programs in India, professional, technical and skill-based education, value education and environmental education, policies, governance and administrations. So, in the first session, we will be covering only the first three topics of the syllabus. So what is higher education systems? See, higher education system provides people an opportunity to reflect on the critical social, economical, cultural, moral and moral issues facing humanity. It helps a higher education system helps a person to develop a thinking so that they can address the issues the humanity is facing. It contributes to the development of country by giving more skilled and specialized knowledge to its younger generation, and or to be any person, nor the younger generation, or to be any person who is keen to learn to go higher in studies. is See, India ranked third in the higher education system after United States and China. Education plays an important role in imparting the knowledge to its children and making their mind work in the right direction, and so that they can utilize what they are being taught in the classes. Be it the ancient era or the modern era, education plays an important role. See, education in ancient India. During the Gupta period, India became the center of higher learning with Nalanda University. And Nalanda is the university, oldest university, and it deals in all the branches of knowledge, be it in arts, be it in science, be it in medicines, be it in astronomy, everything. It deals in all the branches. And along with and then comes the Takshashila, and Takshashila studies the medicine and studies in the medicine. And then the Ujjain study of astronomy is being conducted in it. During the Buddhism, the Sarnath University became a center of learning in to study Buddhism. And if you ever have been to Ajanta and Ellora caves, you can see the type of pictures or the type of paintings made over there. It's a great example how the art and education and how the arts and architecture and can be learned from the Ajanta caves. The Mughal education system considered a primary and secondary schools. During the Mughal education, there are many kinds of primary or secondary schools, and even the colleges were also established at Fatehpur Sikri and in Delhi. The important developments that have taken place in the pre-independence period, uh, that is Charter Act in 1813. So it is the pre-independence because during this time the Britishers have started contributing to India by giving by promoting education in India. They primarily they promoted education in India so that their work can be eased, because India there is because in India before this there is no proper school based education. So what did Britishers do? Britishers came with the schooling projects, and with the they basically do this kind of education, promoted schooling education, so that their work can be eased, so that their clerical work can be maintained properly. So many of the acts or the reports or the commissions Britishers have passed. So we'll be learning the acts and the commissions one by one. So the first they have started in 1813, in that is with the Charter Act. Then comes the Alpinestone Report in 1823. Then the Macaulay's Minute in 1835. Wood Dispatch in 1854. Hunter Commission in 1882 and 18 till 1883. Universities Commission in 1902, Sadler Commission in 1917, Hartog Committee in 1929, and Sargent Report in 1947. See, after this, the India got independence, and after this, the commissions were passed that were made really to contribute towards the higher education, because till now, all the education, all the programs were manufactured by all the program that were crafted by the Britishers for their benefit. Now after independence, the benefit of the countrymen is considered, and so many of the programs were taken care to actually contribute towards the education. So what does the Charter Act says? See the points to remember. In in the in the commissions or the reports mentioned in this slide, you only have to remember the key points, because the questions comes like the objectives, which commission has given this objective, which commission has given, which report has given that objective. So make sure you learn all the key points according to the commissions that I have covered. So the first is Charter Act in 1813. The objective of Charter Act was to spread scientific knowledge in British India. See, Britishers came with many kind of companies, and India do not have any knowledge, any specific knowledge of scientific education during that period. So they promoted the scientific education in India through the Charter Act. Then comes the Elphinstone Report in 1823. It marked as a beginning of new development in the fields of higher education. So a question come in the form like, when is the beginning of new developments of higher education in India, or which report suggested the beginning of higher education in India, and beginning of new developments in higher education in India? See, then you have to mark only the Elphinstone Report. Then comes the Macaulay's Minute, the diffusion of English education in India. Till after the Macaulay's before the Macaulay's Minute, there is a gap of education in India. So the Britishers introduced the Macaulay's Minute commission, so that they can impart the English education in the country, so that they can communicate easily. Then comes the Wood Dispatch in 1854, recommended for setting up the three important universities, such as Madras, Calcutta, and Bombay. Then comes the Hunter Commission in 1882 and 1883. It emphasized the segregation of primary and higher education. See, Hunter Commission says that primary education and higher education should be separated, and they should not be taught at one place. Then comes the University Commission in 1902. Reorganization of universities administration. Till now, the higher education is separated, and the universities administration, like how the universities work, that is to be reorganized by the after the Universities Commission in 1902 came. Then comes the Sadler Commission. The Sadler Commission says that there is separation of intermediate education and from the degree colleges. Is then comes the Hartog Committee. Hartog Committee says that focus on improving the quality and standard of university level education. The Hartog Committee says that there should be a proper and the quality and the level of education that is being provided at the university level should be improved. Then comes the Sargent Report in 1944. It recommended for setting up of UGC, that is Universities Grant Commission, and proposed a 3-year degree course, and so that it can be easy for people to go towards the higher education. Then higher education after independence. Then after independence, the main commissions from where the questions are noticed, from where the questions are expected, are Radhakrishna Commission, Modliar Commission, and Kothari Commission, Sam Pitroda Committee, and Yashpal Committee. See, the developments in higher education after independence, all the committees and the key points to remember, all the committees are given as below. So Radhakrishna Committee came in 1948, just after the independence. and it is also known as Universities Commission, and it is setting and it recommended that the universities should be set up in rural areas so that the people in the rural areas can also have the opportunity to have higher education. And then comes the Mudliar Commission in 1952 and 1953, popularly known as the Secondary Education Commission. It recommended to introduce a 3-year secondary and a 4-year higher education system. The Then comes the Kothari Commission, most important commission, and as many questions are expected from this commissions. It is also known. It is titled as Education and National Development. It proposed that there should be a 3-year degree course and 4 years honor course. Sam Pitroda Committee, known as National Knowledge Commission, supported entry of foreign universities. Sam Pitroda Committee in 2017 said that there should be collaboration between Indian government and the foreign government, so that there can be globalization in education, and Indian students can also have the opportunity to learn from the foreign universities, and foreigners also have the opportunity to come and learn in the Indian universities. Then comes the Yashpal Committee. It scrapped all the above regulatory bodies. See, all the regulatory bodies that are maintained under the following commission, that is needed to be scrapped, and made only one monitoring body, so that it's easier to monitor the programs that are being set. And that monitoring body is known as Commission of Higher Education and Research, and its short form is CHER. See, you have to remember all the sub names of the committee, because they can ask you any sub name, and they can ask you which sub name is related to which committee.